The Open Public Meetings Act states, the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted at the Augusta, Branchville, Lafayette, and Sussex post offices. The notice sent to the New Jersey Herald, the Star Ledger, and the clerk of the boroughs of Branchville and Sussex, and the townships of Frankfort, Lafayette, and Wantage. Mission statement: High Point Regional High School, in partnership with staff, family, and community, is dedicated to the quest for individual excellence. By fostering high standards of achievement, we prepare students to become responsible and productive members of a diverse society. Roll call.
Mr. Rowland is not here. Mrs. Anderson?
Here.
Mr. Danner?
Here.
Mr. Dunn?
Here.
Mr. Woodcue?
Here.
Mr. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Nelson?
Here.
Mr. Ancliffe?
Here.
Mr. Beely?
Yeah, here.
Dr. Rippey?
Here.
All right. We're going to move to public comments on agenda items only. I know that we have some parents here that need to be heard, and that's not time for this. If anybody has any comments on agenda items. All right, seeing none, we'll move to unfinished business. Don't have anything. Approval of minutes. Regular meeting minutes of April 26, 2016. The executive session minutes of April 26, 2016. Roll call. Oh, sorry, I need a motion.
I move to accept the minutes.
Second. Any discussion of said minutes? All right, roll call.
Mrs. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Danner?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Woodcue?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Ancliffe?
Yes.
Mr. Beely?
Yes. All right, presentations, student council report. Adam Nehall, Speaker of the House, will update the board on student council activities.
Hi, good evening. This is my last time I'll be here for this for like forever now. Yeah. It's, I guess it's a good thing. You know, I'm glad I'm finishing, but it's also, I guess, nervous because I got the future. We don't want to deal with it now. So just a recap on, I guess, the past dates. On May 16th, the NHS hosted its annual blood drive, where dozens of students, staff, and members of the community came for a very worthy cause. I was a part of this, and I actually did this blood transfusion. So they took just my red blood cells for this for like special treatment types. So I think it's very interesting to see how different ways you can just donate blood, not just like the standard way. So I saw a lot of kids there, a lot of out-of-community members there as well. So it's something very good to see that we're trying to beat our record every year to get more and more and more. Obviously, it's a really good cause. On May 18th, the Senior Scholarship Night, I know some of the board members were there. Over $100,000 was donated to over 70 seniors who received scholarships. I was privileged to be there, and I got the Joseph Donahue Scholarship. It was an honor, and I really appreciate the Donahue family for donating that as well, as well as the board and two other local charities and organizations that donated as well. May 20th was last Friday, was a junior prom. Got a lot of good from it. It was a big success. Students had fun, and the rest of the students there. I remember last year was a lot of fun as well, so it's always a good time to have that. May 31st, coming up, and next Tuesday, the 8th grade picnic. It's going to, I guess, introduce all incoming freshmen to activities and extracurricular activities for the 8th graders to kind of get involved, and whether it's in clubs, sports, and other areas where they can try to academic clubs like the NHS, FONHS, and math and science honor societies as well. And so clubs and activities will be there to show them other opportunities at High Point where they can participate. And so June 1st, High Point City Council is going to Six Flags for the NJASC award ceremony, so they'll go there. High Point will be represented there. We have received many awards in the past, and we continue to receive awards every year for what our donations have with our past fundraisers. I know with the homecoming football game for Manny DiCarlo has been noticed, and as well as the Play for Paint games, as well as also the Powder Puff games that High Point does. So we get recognized on a state level. And then June 13th, that is the last day. It's also graduation, so that is the day where I guess I hang up my, talking my last time here at High Point. I definitely, I've been blessed just to be here these past 4 years. There's some great staff here, just really connected with the teachers and administration here. I'm definitely, thankful for my time here at High Point. And definitely thank the teachers and the staff here for constant dedicated work to their students, as well as coaches and mentors and advisors through their clubs who dedicate their time that they don't have to dedicate their time to, but they take part of their own time to help students with grades, with schoolwork, and with athletics too. So we definitely appreciate all the time here. So I thank you, board, and thank you, High Point, just for the great memories that you have given me these past 4 years. I can't wait for the future holds for me. And my little sister's here, so I'll still be in touch with what's happening. So I just definitely thank High Point and administration, faculty, and staff for all the great times here. Thank you.
Oh, that's really nice. Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the HPRHS, where Mr. Kate Romeo, the new president, will update the board on activity.
Good evening. Opposite of Adam, this is my first time giving this report. And so I'd just like to highlight some of the things happening with the staff and the members of the HPEA at High Point. Corey Loyola has been recognized as from the Gilderlein Institute of American History. And she's recognized as the 2016 New Jersey History Teacher of the Year. HPA is also very pleased and excited to announce that Barbara Fasano has been honored as Princeton University Distinguished Secondary School Teacher Award. She's been selected one of 4 recipients for this prestigious award, and she will be honored and recognized on the 31st of May at Princeton's graduation ceremony. Some things going on at High Point. There were 65 8th graders from Frankfurt last week here to do a mock trial that was created by our debate class. Corey Loyola and Julie Clausen's debate class invited them. And that same class has the first ever High Point TED conference. And this is really exciting. Over the last 2 weeks, the debate and public speaking students have been presenting original TED Talks. Several of the talks will be live streamed by Kevin Fenland's students and our incredible media program. 12 students were inducted into the inaugural Social Studies National Honor Society. This is new and very amazing, and we are excited for our students. Rho Kappa, which will carry the name of the Robert Saragusa Memorial Chapter of Rho Kappa at High Point Regional High School. The inauguration was Monday, May 9th at 7 p.m. in the Media Center. And we're just really excited about that to continue. And a few other things. 6 High Point students, as members of the peer transition panel, went to Lafayette and Sussex Middle School to talk to all the 8th graders last week about transitioning to high school and making the most of their opportunities here at High Point. Stacy Zaremba, a science teacher, has been working on her dissertation. She just passed the oral defense of her proposal it's a qualitative study looking at the implementation of anti-bullying legislation in New Jersey. And Art Mina just defended his research in slow slip earthquakes and was awarded a master's degree from the College of Earth and Mineral Sciences at Penn State after 4 years of study. And last, I would just like to remind all of you and invite all of the board members to the HPA luncheon this year. If you did not receive the email or you need any other information, please let me know.
Is that photo?
Oh, and we're also very excited to help and support and help with planning the 50th celebration that's going to take place in the fall. Very excited for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, principal report. Calvin will update us on this.
Okay, the thing I just want to start with is I want to say thank you to Adam for being diligent and being here to be able to have a voice for our students and giving us a very thorough report. every month. You know, it's a difficult task, all the other things that keep going on, and thank you for your work over the past year, and look forward to hearing great things about you as you move forward. So thank you for that, and also welcome to Anna, who I know just had to go out prior to some homework. She will take over the guard. I said that it's a bittersweet opportunity, changing on the guard, you know, a great thing that happens as the promotion board and her moving forward. Also, welcome to Ms. Romeo, who's on the side. Ms. Romeo, looking forward to working with you in the new adventures. And also, I know Chris is not here, but thank you to Chris Henry for her time committing to the HPA and to support our students and our school over the past many years in that realm. A couple quick things just to review. We had our first ever hashtag High Point College Shirt Day earlier this month, May 5th, and it was a record turnout participation for our students and staff. You can see the pictures out on Twitter and Facebook that we shared. It was awesome. We had 100 plus seniors in the gym take a picture at the end of the day with all of their college attire on, so that was a pretty neat experience to see, and all realms of schools from all corners of the area, so that's pretty prevalent to see. The staff had to break out their old shirts, so some of them fit better than others. That was nice to have that part of it too. May 6th with the senior formal, we had over 200 seniors attend. That was a great night. May 16th, we had our first ever STEM community fair, which was organized by Brian Drellick, coordination with also Aaron Baker from Science, Alex Gonzalez from Tech, Ben Kapler, Matt Guerrero, and Park Holcomb from Tech. And that was a community science fair, STEM fair that we had. We invited community members from grades basically K to 6, and that was an awesome turnout to see for the first time. I had so many positive comments, not only the night of, as our students basically presented their technology, their projects they're working on, and their science experiments, and our students were teaching the kindergarten through 6th graders. So as I walked around with my own kids throughout the fair and spoke to many parents, afterwards, 2 weeks later, I was still hearing positive things from community all over the area, talking about how much of a positive experience that was and how much they couldn't believe how well our students spoke, how well they taught their young students, and they were very impressed by that. So good things are happening. That was a great thing as well. Adam mentioned the scholarship dinner. Thank you for those that were able to attend. That is a community partnership that we're just so proud of, with over $105,000 given into scholarships this year from so many different areas. We're very appreciative of that continued partnership and the growth of that, and thank you to the guidance department for putting that together for us once again. On the 19th, we had the Foreign Language National Honor Society ceremony. We had 29 students that were inducted. Thank you to Joella and Mary Dean, Carol Matthews, who put that together. It was a great night. We had over 280 students at the prom last week down in Randolph. That was a great night as well, and they did a great job and had a lot of fun. Tomorrow, we have the National Honor Society induction ceremony right here at 6 o'clock, and then right next door at the Media Center, we'll have the art invitational for the second time, where we invite schools to come. We have about 8 or 9 schools that participate from all over the area. We have all types of student work that's displayed. It's judged by renowned judges, and then they also will give scholarships out to deserving recipients from the different schools. So it's a great night for our students, for other county students as well, and for the community. And it's led by Ms. Kazicki and the rest of the art staff as well. We have the 8th grade picnic coming up, one second step kind of into our transition for the 9th grade program. We had an 8th grade open house. As I say, that night, the 8th grade picnic is the next step. We'll expect to have over 300 8th graders come in to school and get a feel of what High Point looks like to them. With the help of our peer counselors, our student body, and many other people in between, we're going to be able to give them an experience that we're looking forward to, and then transition them into coming into September. So thank you to Lisa Frisbee, who coordinates most of that, and a lot of other people behind the scenes as well. Next week, also June 1st, is our Science Math National Honor Society and Science Research Symposium. That's on June 1st. And that's a great event as well. We had some success over the last month or so since last time we met. Some of them have been spoken about, some of them have not. The World Strides Festival took place at the end of April, beginning of May, and our chamber singers were awarded a gold rating, which is an extremely high rating, top rating, and our jazz ensemble was awarded a silver rating, which is also a very top level. So congratulations to them on a job well done. Recently, ended the stories, if you followed the paper recently, I think it was the Advertiser News that ran the article. She's a senior who raised funds for the Father John's Animal Rescue House, and she raised single-handedly over $750 with a partnership with a local community member as well. So that was a great thing to see. Carolyn Torres received honorable mention at the Orlando Sa Poetry Recital Festival at William Patterson. That's the first time that we participated in that. That was coordinated by Mr. Diodino, Ms. Wesa, and also Mr. Berger. And she was there, she received honorable mention, which is pretty impressive for our first time attending there, for her to be acknowledged and recognized in that way. She was so proud when she came back on the bus and she had her medal and was able to talk about it and what she did. So very proud woman for Carolina. She did a tremendous job. Spencer Alden and Cassidy Stroke have also participated in Model Congress, and that was with Representative Scott Garrett, sorry. And that was an outstanding event over the weekend that they just had a tremendous experience about, not necessarily, again, they received a lot of awards, but it was about the networking that they had, and the ability that they had to speak to other students from all over the state. And that was what both of them told me when I spoke to them about their experiences, that the ability to talk to other students about what's going on in their schools and what they're doing, what we're doing, was just fantastic. Hannah Orr also got the All Eastern Honors Choir, which is a step up from the last month, which means she made it to the next level. We should be able to hopefully represent at the All-State Ensemble next April, if she makes it to the third level. So that's a pretty prestigious honor. I don't have all the limitations of what choir looks like, but that's a pretty prestigious award. And also recently, Taylor Chug, Alec Bell, Garrett Fenlon were recipients of the Mid-Atlantic High School Student Awards, which is put on by a local college. Mr. Fenlon coordinated that for them as well. Wrapping up, we had the tech department receive the NJTEA Image Awards, the entire department for their innovative, creative ideas, outside the box ideas, for how they market their students, for the students' products that they created. So that was a nice acknowledgement for them, and again, a positive thing in the paper. End of year schedule, real quick, June 8th to 13th is the half days, June 9th is senior awards, June 10th is the senior breakfast, we have her ready, June 13th is graduation, project graduation to follow thereafter that. We also completed our pilot block days over the last week, and that was a 4-day rotation. And I also sent out a survey to all staff and students to gain feedback about that immediately. Although the pilot block days is not exactly what we're going to have for the block schedule next year, I would say it's probably 85% of what it will look like, to the best of our ability to take this year's schedule and fitting into that mold. So we're garnering that feedback, and look to take that feedback moving forward as we transition to that schedule. Okay. Any questions on that?
Was your feedback on the mock block very positive?
Yeah, I ranged, from all different questions I asked about the rotation, what that feels like in class with students, and also for the teachers. The unit lunch was as close as we could resemble. So that sometimes is a hard thing, Ms. Anderson, to try to model that exactly what it's going to look like and feel like. It's hard. So that could breed some more negativity than we want to, but that's just the reality of what we're looking at for trying to run a pilot. Every school that we went to visit, and this is part of the SSTF, said to do a pilot schedule for at least a couple days was the best thing that they did, because they just learned from it, and they learned good and bad things that they can, perform better at, and do better for the next year.
Good,
So we'll look to garner that and move forward with that feedback.
good.
Okay. Just be okay if I go on to the athletic report right for now? This from athletic report from Mr. Van Orden. To wrap up, as we talked about the spring season, baseball team is currently 15-4 this season. They are second in NJAC Freedom Division. They face Hawthorne on Monday, the first round. And congratulations to the baseball team as they won 4-2, I think that's the correct score. They play Mawa next Thursday, so congratulations to them on a job they continue to do well. Softball finished strong. They won the last 3 games of the year, very impressive, and had a really great finish. They finished 8-14 on the season. Very proud of Coach Gallagher and that team. Boys tennis, Paxton Haggerty advanced to the individual state tournament this upcoming weekend, and team advanced to the playoffs, losing to Ramsey in the first round. So a great season for the boys tennis team. Girls lacrosse, boys lacrosse, both finished up their seasons last week, in a busy week. The girls won their most games ever in a single season, and they finished the season 7-7. So kudos to the coaching staff, Mrs. Carter, Mr. Mina, and the girls lacrosse program for having a very successful season. Again, as we know, it's not about wins and losses. They had a great season and really a nice finish. The boys golf team finished regular season 3-9-1 overall. They competed next week in the NJAC tournament, so they got a little bit left. And this weekend we had the HWS for track and field. They went to 100 Central for HWS tournament. Freshman Tyra Wingle, she took a bronze with a jump of 5 feet. Second gold medal went to Joe Dragon, who won the mile with a time of 4:16. Fast. Also silver to the 2-mile, 9:33, as Mr. Miller shakes his head because it is. Caleb Van Tassel took home a bronze in the 100-meter dash with a time of 12.83 seconds. And Missy Way also earned a bronze in the pole vault with a jump of 9.6. And overall, teams finished in 10th place. Next week, they have the state sectional tournament at Riverdale High School. May 2nd, athlete of the week, Billy Kerwin, baseball. Billy, congratulations, buddy. Nice job. Kenneth Natasha for track and field. May 9th, week of Missy Way for track and field, Colin Camp for track and field. May 16th, Finley, Tyron Eagle and Joe Dragon, both for track and field, and also medaled at the HWS. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
Questions?
I would just like to say that regarding the school scheduling task force and the implementation of the block scheduling, many schools struggle to implement it efficiently and effectively. The manner in which the administration has gone about this over the last year plus, if not longer, has been incredibly effective. It has inspired the staff to overwhelmingly accept the vision of moving to a block scheduling, and it has been almost seamless, and that can only be attributed to the administration and the staff working in conjunction to implement what we believe is research-based and will help our students and improve our student achievement. And that's a tremendous amount of work and has been done exceptionally well. And I just want the administration and staff to be recognized for that.
Okay, move on to curriculum, instruction, and technology. Campbell will update us on the curriculum.
Good evening. There's not much left to talk about. All the good news has been proclaimed. 23rd is tough night to delete half my slides, but good evening. Good to be here tonight. It's an exciting time to be around young students. There's graduations and championships and proms and honor society inductions. So there's a buzz in the building, and it's about the high achievement in and out of the classroom, from Crystal Springs last week to our athletic events. And it's an exciting time of year. There is actually a test that students want to take, and that is the AP exam. We endure a rigorous test schedule, some more difficult than others. As you know, in the past 3 years, we've embarked upon a massive expansion of our AP offerings. This year, we administered 411 tests to 211 students, over 20 different subjects tested. In February, I was appointed acting Director of Curriculum and Instruction, which left a little bit of a void in the assessment position. And so Dr. Ripley had to parcel out some jobs to make up for the elimination of Mr. Emery. And I'd like to thank Mrs. Beth Walton, who's here tonight, because when I realized I can't do 2 jobs, we had to find some capable people. Mrs. Walton has worked tirelessly to make sure that our AP program was administered almost flawlessly. We had a couple of hiccups, but we were on the spot and reacted to them nicely. So thank you very much, Mrs. Walton, for that phenomenal job. Our philosophy, as you know, is about access. It is not about scores. Our scores will be good. But I ask you this, would you rather have 300 students take AP tests and the pass rate be 75%, or 100 take AP tests and have the pass rate be 85? We are challenging more and more students to take our most rigorous courses, and they're proving year after year that they can do it. Not every student does exceptionally well, but across the board, they are achieving. Research shows us. I've always believed the #1 statistic in the school report card is how many of your students of your graduating seniors have taken at least one AP course. So I believe the rigor in the whole building, by having more of our college-bound students exposed to one of our most rigorous level courses. And I think we have some AP students here somewhere, I think, right? Congratulations, AP teacher, Mr. Climbers, congratulations. So it was a lot of work, and we're very excited about its success. We have one test left, and that is tomorrow. The biology proficiency exam will be administered to 9th and 10th graders tomorrow morning and Thursday morning. It is mandatory. We're not crazy about it, but we are fulfilling our obligation, and we do receive feedback on their performance. So once Thursday comes, we will have concluded our assessment schedule, which I don't think anyone will really complain about. This past week, we had a professional development session for our staff. Mr. Talman and I have worked this year to kind of redesign our professional development so that it is staff-driven. This is the second of our Ed Camp style sessions, And as you, the board, see, we spend a lot of money to send our staff away, and we now challenge them when they come back. They are obligated to turnkey it and be willing to share what they learn. And there are a lot of wonderful things there. This is Kate Romeo presented on mental health awareness. It's just great to see our staff presenting to our staff. I think it empowers the presenter as much as it benefits those that receive the message. We're putting together a schedule right now to offer remediation evenings, weekends, and in the summer. This was board approved back in November, I believe, but it's on the agenda tonight just as a reminder that we are expanding this program slightly. But the people that we hired to fulfill this position, it was advertised, they interviewed, and it's already been approved, but we're now in the final weeks of the school year, and we're trying to assist students who are in danger of passing for the year. If they do fail for the year, we're putting together a summer schedule where 2 to 3 weeks in July, we're going to be offering support, where if a student missed passing the course by a few points, and we can put together a program where they can come in and work to restore credit, we believe it's a valuable use of resources. Research tells us that failing math classes in 9th and 10th grade is the single most identifiable factor of students that don't graduate. So we are on top of our math students, trying to make sure that we provide all the support we can for them to be successful. I think we already talked about Mrs. Fasano a few times. Congratulations to her. Mrs. Loyola, congratulations to her. Our supervisors. For the 3 years prior to this school year, we had department chair people. Mr. Van Orden and Mr. Carter were supervisors, but most of the teachers didn't have that position. And I just want to say that my colleagues, Mr. Diadino and Mr. Drellick, have done a phenomenal job leading the teaching staff. Right now, they're going through the summative process where they gather all of the observation information on every teacher and meet with them for 20 to 30 minutes and go over their performance. It's a very hands-on, collaborative coaching experience. They've done a great job, and I think that our curriculum is the beneficiary. June 16th and 17th, we will be hosting Montague, Lafayette, Frankfurt, and Sussex-Wantage, and I've mentioned this before. We'll be coming here for 2 days in June to hammer out one common, consistent Algebra 1 curriculum. Approximately 30 to 40% of students are now taking Algebra 1 in 8th grade. 50 to 60% are taking it in 9th grade. Well, we really need to be in unison on that issue, and I think as I've shared with you before, we hope this is a model of collaboration that spreads. Mr. Talame is actively involved with SCCC, and we have a concurrent enrollment initiative that we're bringing back. Many colleges stopped taking credits from SCCC, and so our new goal is we're going to target slightly different audience at High Point. We used to target our AP students, and then our AP student would go on to Rutgers, and Rutgers would say we don't take it. So now we're trying to work with some students that we think might be going to SCCC, and we're approaching them and saying this is for next year. If you think this is where you're going and you're already taking this course, we can allow you to receive credit, save some money, get ahead on your college ambition by doing concurrent enrollment. So we're excited about that. Now it's the fun part where we talk about social media, and I implore everyone once again to follow us on Twitter and Facebook and live stream. You can sit at home at night, you get emails. I get emails all night long when I'm sitting on my computer, and it's often live events. And I'm watching this and I'm watching that, and it's a great way to keep up on things. I have to give Mr. Aaron Baker some credit. This board and Dr. Ripley have had a philosophy of hiring. I believe that we're going to go out and get the best people that we can get. Aaron Baker was a highly regarded, successful, tenured science teacher at a high-performing district. He chose to come to High Point. I was at a workshop yesterday in the county, and the workshop was on how to recruit and retain excellent teachers. And I thought of the handful of new teachers we have, and what we do for them is we support them. If you have a driven teacher who will do all these excellence and create all these programs, we have the commitment to really support them. So he's done a phenomenal job. This was really a great program. STEM League, there's two competitions, STEM and Math League. High Point had been in them in the past, we dropped out of them, we're now getting back in them. So I think today Mr. Kappelmeyer took a group to a STEM League competition. and it's another opportunity for our kids to compete. Paul Cardinal is going to be recognized by Millersville College, Millersville University. There's going to be a giant picture of him in their student center as he's profiled by his college as someone who's having a successful career in tech education. Here's our math league. Mr. Drellick passed out medals today. What I like about math league is the AP students love the fact that they get a measuring opportunity against people around the state or around the country. Math league does that. Math league has one standardized test, and High Point can say, we're going to make this a competition where we have this teacher and that teacher, or these periods compete against each other in a kind of a fun competition. But it also allows you, in these standardized assessments, to see how you perform relative to people around the state. I think it's important to say that the highest performing Algebra 1 student at High Point came from not an honors Algebra 1, not a CPA, but a CPB, which really supports our continued philosophy that all kids can achieve. One thing I forgot to mention, pardon me if I go back just one, Mr. Drellick intends to have a STEM league that will be for our sending districts. So next year we hope to get off the ground a science competition program with our 4 sending districts. I think that'll be a great way. We want students to feel a connection to the high school, that this isn't an option, this is their community. And I think programs like that will help do that. The mock trial program, which we mentioned, was incredible. To see all these 8th graders here in the building working with our students on a curricular project was very gratifying. And at that mock trial program, our teacher of the year, Mrs. Joan Smith, was there with High Point students, and her daughter, who teaches, is a High Point graduate, teaches at Frankfurt, was there with her students. So that was just a nice candy picture. Our tech awards that Mr. Talman made reference to, Scott Garrett, 2 of our students from the Model Congress program. And on Friday, an Australian company came and solicited us and told us they had a study skills program. And we took a flyer on it, spent a few $100s to have them come in and pilot the program. And they hired a guy from Branchville to come in and teach it, so we thought that was kind of funny. Our recent college graduate, James Benson, who was a great student when he was here, is out of college and is actually working, doing motivational academic speaking for Elevate. So the sales guy came in from Australia. He sounded very exotic. The presenter, who was excellent, was local. James did a great job. What we're working on is trying to develop next year, as we get rid of our C level and compressed levels, and we move towards the block, having some structured study skills, note-taking, reading comprehension between in our English, social studies, and science classes. The Robert Saragusa Rho Kappa program, that's just a pick from the inductions last week. I believe that is it. So, a lot of information, a lot of exciting things going on. Anyone have any questions? Okay, great, thank you.
Good job, thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to action items.
Okay, curriculum, instruction, and technology. Items 1, 2, and 3, we are going to accept the reports of faculty attendance and student attendance and the suspension report. They are listed in our attachments. We're going to move items 4, 5, and 6 together. 4 is that we approve the harassment, intimidation, and bullying report for April 26th through May 24th. And 5 is that we approve the field trip list. And 6 is that we approve the professional development list. I'll move items 4 through 6.
Second.
Any discussion, questions? Roll call?
Mr. Danner?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Woodcue?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Ancliffe?
Yes.
Mrs. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Veal?
Yes.
And then I'm going to move items 7 and 8. They're about the Perkins Secondary Consolidation Application. This is a grant that we received for filling out the proper things and doing the proper things. We have an amendment in the amount of $30,056 for item 7, and then item 8, it is recommended by the superintendent that the Board of Education authorizes the submission of the Perkins Secondary Consolidated Application for fiscal year 2017 at a accepts the grant award for the funds in the amount of $35,257 upon subsequent approval of the fiscal year 2017 Perkins Secondary Consolidation Application. Moving to 7 and 8. Any questions? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Woyku?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Ankliff?
Yes.
Mrs. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Danner?
Yes.
Mr. Veely?
Yes.
And then item 9, it is recommended by the superintendent that the Board of Education approve the following resolution for participation in the Sustainable Jersey for Schools Certification Program. I'm not going to read all of that. We are going to be a green school under, our liaison will be Aaron Baker. I will read this statement. Therefore, it is resolved that the High Point Regional High School Board of Education agrees to participate in Sustainable Jersey for Schools, and it is the board's intention to pursue certification for schools in the district. Moving item 9. Any other questions?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if this was already discussed at buildings and grounds level, where it originally.
It wasn't discussed at buildings and grounds.
It comes from the state DOE, who sends out weekly broadcasts, and this is one of their initiatives. And our advanced placement environmental science teacher, Mr. Baker, has requested that we pursue this because it's a part of his curriculum. And we'll utilize the greenhouse and other means of demonstrating the sustainable leadership for High Point. We have not discussed it at length, so I understand if there are some questions, but that's the initiative, that was the purpose. It doesn't necessarily lock us into anything, but it gives us opportunities to provide curricular options to the environmental science classes, but also to partner with our sending districts so as to provide them with opportunities as well, also utilizing our greenhouse.
Okay, I guess I'm just concerned that I really don't know enough about this, and it seems benign enough. And I generally agree with sustainability, but I'm also aware that there are some things that are presented under the umbrella of sustainability that I don't necessarily agree with. So I don't know how soon this has to be adopted, whether, because of time.
To my knowledge, there is no time constraint, so what I could do is, if the board were so inclined, we could table it and I could get more information so that we could discuss it in the committee, or I could disseminate that information.
Yeah, I'd like to know, right at the top there, the Sustainable Jersey for Schools Certification Program. I assume there's probably some literature on that that may be distributed. The other thing that I was curious about was the green team that will be established, and who would be, members of that green team, and whether it would include board members or just staff members, or even would members from the public be allowed to be part of the team. So I'm not against this. I just would like that more information.
So if we're going to wait, what do I do? What do I do about this motion? It's on the table.
There's a motion and a second. You can do all in favor of tabling the motion.
All in favor of tabling the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Okay.
Now we'll move on to personnel. I'd like to combine items 1 through 4, where item 1 is recommended by the superintendent that the Board of Education accept with regret the retirement notification of Christine Henry, teacher of social studies, effective June 30, 2016. Number 2, recommended by the superintendent that the Board of Education accept with regret the retirement notification of employee 128, effective June 30, 2016. Number 3, recommended by the superintendent that the Board of Education accept the resignation of Richard Zonka, weekend security guard custodian, effective April 28, 2016. And recommended by the superintendent that the Board of Education remove maternity, child care, disability leave of absence in accordance with the Federal Family Leave Act and New Jersey Family Leave Act, employee 1279, effective on or about September 19, 2016, December 12, 2016.
So moved?
Second.
Any discussion on 1 through 4?
Yes. Christine Henry. I don't know how long she's been working here, but she has been a member of this community since she was a little girl. She went to high school here with me. I'm actually a lot older than her, but I kind of remember. She dated my brother. I just need to say that Christine has put her heart and soul into her educational career. She loves those kids, they love her. She's taught many courses, many levels. She's been an advisor for many extracurricular events, activities, clubs. She's been a class advisor. She's just been really an amazing part of this High Point Regional High School community, and she was part of the crew that, I think she designed the mural that's above the doors over in the cafeteria if you walk in and out of there, over the kitchen doors. When she was in high school here, she organized everybody to paint those pictures that she drew on the wall. She's just High Point. She's just High Point. And I'm happy that she's going to retire and enjoy her life in that next part. I'm sad that she's leaving us because she's just awesome. So that's my comment.
I would also like to comment about Mrs. Henry, a colleague of mine for almost 20 years now, someone in whom I have great respect, an exceptional educator, someone who has had a profound impact on this community, and this community is better off for having had Mrs. Christine Henry as a teacher, as a role model, and as a member of this community for quite some time. She was Teacher of the Year at Kittatinny Regional High School and Teacher of the Year at High Point Regional High School. And for the past she has done innumerable jobs and things at High Point, but for the last 2 years she's also served as the High Point Education Association President, and someone who I have great affection and deep respect for, and she will be missed. And I would just like to say that I love her, and I look forward to hearing about her exploits in the future. Congratulations.
Roll call.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Ancliffe?
Yes.
Mrs. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Danner?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Boyku?
Yes.
Mr. Beal?
Yes. Okay, number 5, recommended by the superintendent of the Board of Education for a contract revision for the 16-17 school year to reflect the salary adjustment of $500 for highly qualified status bachelor's degree in field academy and media aid. Seeking a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on item 5? Roll call.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Ancliffe?
Yes.
Mrs. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Danner?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Boyku?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Beal?
Yes. Okay, I'd like to combine items 6 through 9, where number 6 is recommended by the superintendent of the Board of Education to approve the following individuals as substitute teachers for 15-16, 16-17 school year. Kathleen Patton and William R. Smith and Benedict Louise. Number 7, recommended by the superintendent of the Board of Education to approve Alexander Gilmore as substitute custodian for the remainder of the 15-16 year and receive all required paperwork. Number 8, recommended by the superintendent of the Board of Education to approve following summer custodial work on June 15, 2016 through the summer months pending receipt of all required paperwork, including criminal history review that is as listed. Number 9, recommended by the superintendent of the Board of Education to approve the assignment of Kirsten Sabo, as math RTI tutor or room tutoring service during evenings, weekends to assist 9th to 10th grade students over a 6-week period from May 7th to June 10th at the rate of $40 an hour. Time sheets must be submitted to the community seeking the motion.
We have since the list of summer students was ended, we had additional students.
So on number 8, we will add to the list of children or individuals studying in quarters at $8.38 an hour. Just add it. On number
838.
Yep. Seeking a motion on those.
So moved.
Any discussion on said item?
On the summer custodial workers, just so that we appear to be completely above board, I was hoping, Dr. Griffin, if you could say a few things about some of the names that may look familiar on the
Okay.
list.
Most of the names on here are repeat individuals who have worked with us for several years. There are some relations to people who are employed by the Board of Education. However, they are summer custodial workers who will have absolutely no interaction with any of those individuals in a supervisory capacity. As I said, they've worked here before, and it is summer help that we advertise for custodians. They work very hard, and they earn that money, and it is an asset to us to maintain the beautiful facilities about which our community is so proud. So while I understand that, I would also like to state that we do advertise for these positions, we do interview for these positions, and we also live in a relatively small community where that by happenstance may occur from time to time.
Any other discussion? All right, roll call.
Mr. Ratcliffe?
Yes.
Mrs. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Danner?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Woyku?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Veely?
Yes. All right, number 10, recommend by the superintendent of the Board of Education approve the following assignments for the extended school year program that is as listed, which is continuing on to the next page.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on item 10? All right, roll call.
Mrs. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Danner?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Woyku?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Ratcliffe?
Yes.
Mr. Veely?
Yes. All right, extracurricular, I'd like to combine items 1, 2, 3. For number 1, we recommend by the superintendent of the Board of Education accept with regret the resignation of Kate Romeo as state advisor effective for the 16-17 school year. Number 2, recommend by the superintendent of the Board of Education accept with regret the resignation of Alexander Gonzalez as PSA advisor effective for the 16-17 school year. Number 3, recommend the Board of Education for the 16-17 extracurricular appointments with salaries as listed in attachment A.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on 1 through 3? Roll call.
Mr. Danner?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Woyku?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Ratcliffe?
Yes.
Mrs. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Veely?
Yes. Policy, number 1, recommend by the superintendent of the Board of Education approve the second reading of the following new policy, policy 5337.
The effort put in by coaches for the equipment given to them, the allotted time, or what. So I think the program needs to be improved to allow a freshman team have more than 35 to an hour, 40 minutes of practice. If it's field time that's not there for them to do that, because I know the coaches are have the ability to do that. Having been around them for years back, their ability to show and their knowledge of the game is there. So if the board and the school needs to improve the program, the JV field is at best, my little league fields surpass the quality of the JV field. It's horrible. The batting net is in the woods, falling apart. The water doesn't work. If the fields aren't that good, do you expect them to play as well as they could with their abilities? If you have a divot in front of the third baseman, is he going to stand in front of the divot? Is he going to feel it in his eyeball or in his glove? So it's more than just coaching, it's the equipment. It's a lot of things that go into playing the game of baseball than just showing up and putting a glove on. And I believe that there's more than just yelling at a coach for doing something wrong. I think they need to be given the opportunity to improve the program, either by reassessing who's coaching or giving them the tools that they need to improve the program. Because, as Mr. Steinen said, the kids are awesome. It's impossible not to win. For the next 5 years, High Point should have hellacious winning state records or being going to the state. Having coached these kids since they were 5. Your 8th grade team coming up to freshman, phenomenal. So I hope that you guys will consider everything that's going on and reevaluate the program and give those that are either coming into it or still here or staying or leaving or what have you, the tools that they need to improve. Because it's about the kids playing the game and getting to the next level. Going to college, having an opportunity to see somebody. It might be opening a door. It's not just the superstars that happen to make it there. Some of those average kids can go to an average college and make it the next level. Because we've all seen a D2 student or a D3 student make it to the major leagues. It has happened. Because we as coaches and parents and people, we don't know where they're going to be when they're 20. not every kid develops at the same level. Thank you.
Any other public comments?
I'll keep it short and simple. My complaints are the same as,
Chris, can you just state your name?
I'm sorry, Christina Sarpicello, from Wantage. My complaints are the same as Matt's. I don't think that any coach has a right to get into any student's player's head. He messed with my son's swing. And it's not, like Matt, it's not about playing time. My son really doesn't need to play for the high school. He goes to showcases, he's already been scouted by colleges. It's not about that, it's about him messing with my child's swing and then telling him that he's a good defensive player, but he can't hit. Yet you've got students that are, or you've got players that are over 30 or, tremendous errors on the field. So he's just not consistent and he gets in their heads and I just don't think it's right. And my son was saved every text message that he sent him, just like Matt. You're going to pitch today and then he doesn't pitch. Or, Derek texted him and said, I'm going to go to Legion tryouts, so I'm not going to make the game. And he has it, like I said. I talked to the Legion coach, and you're supposed to pitch tomorrow, but do whatever you want. I just don't think that's right to do to a kid. You all know, if someone gets in your head, it's hard to do something. Negative is always harder to shake off than a positive. So, I just think he needs to, he's going to stick around. He needs to work with the kids and not discourage them. That's just all I have to say.
Any other public comments?
Could I just respond if there are no other public comments?
One thing before you do, I just want to remind the board that no one has been placed, so we cannot discuss anyone by name.
I understand.
Are there any other public comments? Good.
Nick D'Agostino, 42 Mill Road, Wantage. As many of you know, I'm running for the Republican nomination for our Wantage Township Committee on June 7th in the primary. And I just wanted to say that many times at the meetings, I hear that they want to have a liaison come to the school board meetings so they can be on the same page as the school boards. I have yet to see any of the committeemen come to the meetings, but I look forward to having the opportunity to get on the same page. Obviously, you guys don't vote on township matters, and the town doesn't vote on school matters, but I think it's important for all of us in this town to be on the same page and have the same goal, which is improving the place we live. So I just want to thank you guys for what you do, and I look forward to attending the meetings in the future as well. Thank you.
Any other public comments? Go ahead, Mr. Allen.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that, I sympathize with the comments that were made by the parents. I had 3 sons that played on the baseball team in the 90s with varying degrees of success. And many of the comments I heard tonight, I heard 15, 20 years ago. I hope that the public understands that there are certain things regarding the baseball program that we can't get involved in as a board, and there are other things that we might be able to get involved in. So, I think a conversation with the superintendent, at least from my point of view, is appropriate regarding this. But as I said, there are certain things that we cannot get involved in directly, shouldn't get involved in.
Yes, I agree with Ken on this, and I think we need to sit down and discuss this, and talk about it, get it brought to our attention. We will look into it.
That's all we ask. Thank you. Interview the boys.
I just would like to speak with all of you who are here regarding the baseball emails that have been sent to Mr. Bealey or myself. I assure you that the last several days, going back to late last week, we have begun the process of looking into your concerns. While you may not have heard anything yet regarding that, if you have any complaints or concerns, you can always CC me if you send it to Mr. Feely. But we have the same goals. Our goal for athletics is to be an extension of the classroom. Extracurricular athletics, sports, those opportunities for children are a learning extension of the classroom. If we are not providing, and I'm not saying we're not, but that is our singular purpose for athletics. It is not wins and losses. It is not banners, although those are great. They are a source of pride for the community. But we are an educational institution, and athletics are an extension of the classroom, and that's why we have them. That's why we have proms, because it gives opportunities for children to learn socially in the various capacities. That is our goal, and that is our purpose for all these programs. I assure you that your concerns do not fall on deaf ears. We have looked into, and will continue to look into, the comments that have been made this evening and some of the concerns that have been communicated via email. It is very difficult, particularly in an open forum such as this, particularly when there are human beings and people and livelihoods and well-being involved, to discuss it openly. So oftentimes, as we've discussed recently, as board members and as a superintendent, you sit here at board meetings and you listen to people make comments, and more frequently than not, you're not able to respond. And all that does is foster a sense of confusion, sometimes a lack of trust. So I'm purposefully speaking this evening so that all of you present this evening are aware that your concerns have not fallen on deaf ears, and that we will evaluate the program and the manner in which we provide leadership, role models, and education to our children, whether that is through the baseball program or any other program. So I appreciate you reaching out to the Board of Education, and we will look further into some of the concerns that we have, and hopefully this can be, if there are issues that need to be, hopefully they can be rectified. If not, what we're hopeful to be able to do is reestablish your trust and reestablish relationships, because education is about relationships. So I assure you we'll look into that, and hopefully we can restore some trust.
I don't think it's us so much. I think it's the boys, that are going to be left here to fill in the spots that are there. I mean, if you discourage them, you've got no one else to come up and fill those positions. So, I mean, that's what, it's not about pleasing me as far as I'm concerned.
And that's something that I wanted to follow up on and finish with, but some of the concerns and some emails that I received were about retaliation, against the children and whatnot. As I said to everybody that did email me, we appreciate everybody coming to the board to let us know. Otherwise, we might not know. So don't be intimidated, don't feel afraid to contact us. You can email me, you can reach out to the school, I'll call you back if need be. But I can assure you that if you come forward, there will be no retaliation against your child. That will not be tolerated by this board. I wanted to communicate that. I know that we have outstanding professionals. Dr. Ripley will not allow that. I'm sure that Mr. John Talmadge would not allow that. So I just wanted to put any concerns of that type of thing, to rest. So if anybody has anything else.
I think as a board member and somebody that's involved heavily in another sport, coach, trainer, referee, club, league official, I think we need to take some time and commend the parents and those volunteers in all sports to prepare children to be athletes at the next level. And I know from the sport of youth soccer how important it is to train those kids early and prepare them for the next step, which, we look at the horizon as high school, and maybe even beyond college. So just a thank you to all the parents that spend the time out on the fields, that prepare the baseball field for the next game, that are lining, soccer fields, or whatever volunteer effort is. It's valuable to the program that the high school sports programs would not be successful without you.
All right, any non-committee board members who report to gentlemen? Seeing none, we'll move on to executive session. The motion will be made that the High Point Regional District Board of Education enter executive session, reconvene at the board office to discuss legal and personnel matters, which is exempt from public participation pursuant to New Jersey Public Law 1975, Chapter 231, Open Public Meetings Act. Any discussions held by the board which need not remain confidential will be made public when appropriate. Any of the executive session will not be disclosed until the need for confidentiality no longer exists. The board will reconvene in public session in the board office at the conclusion of the executive session. We will be in session approximately 30. No action will be taken following exec session. Any voting?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Talkie, huh? That's okay. Sorry at all. I got 2.5-year-olds. Believe me, at home I know exactly how that is.
Like your dad, right?
Huh? Yeah. That's what it's all about, right? Thank you. Very good. That's good. 2-1. 2-1. Yeah. You're back home with mom. Very good.
Actually, I'll get so we can
You tripped up. Kind of tripped. That was good. Yeah, she loved it. Yeah, you know, it's all that good. She loved it. Loved it. Yeah. Tony's very good. We're going back.
Yeah.
and that's what he's. He's a good guy. Yeah. You know, I don't share it.
It's probably really good. She's very nervous. Last year when she started, trying to set together,
I probably, next time I see it, I go next door.
I don't know.
she works, but she's also.
Yeah, it's so funny, and I was.
Yeah, so.
They just say, I was in college, I got paid $130 for 2 hours.
We're all fine.
Take care, guys.
Like the last thing is the presence.
I always feel fun, there's enough people that are.
That's why you can hear one or two.
Nice job. Grandma.
Oh, really? Congratulations.
Yeah, started.
You know what ends up happening? The first one name you.
That's what,
So you start with grandma, that's my first, and the odd sign out, like,
yeah.
and then it's stuck, you know?
Cover in the windows, give on
Which kind of way, you know, what to do, I think it's right. That's how we about it. Of course, it's like, how, you know, she does like it, she loves it. Forget about it, but wait for it, and then try it out, see how it goes. I don't know what to say. We didn't do it, not, we have to get on try and, the exits like.
Someone's exerting.
Right, right. And then, sure, yeah. I would do it. It's hard, but yeah. Sounds good. Thank you.
Eighth grade graduation coming up?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, she'll be here next week for the picnic, so.
That's cool.
Yeah, she'll be good.
So she's looking forward to it. All right. How are you?
Good, how are you? Good, Heather, all right? Yeah. Good. See you, Dan. Glad to get you. All right. All the best. All right. Congratulations, Kate. Not better.
Hi, Tom, nice to meet you.
Mr. Campbell, good seeing you.
Likewise, guys. Good luck in your.
Here's the hug.
Service animal in attachment D1, need a motion,
So moved.
Second.
discussion on that? Roll call.
Mr. Dunn.
Yes.
Mr. Voight-Cube.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Nelson.
Yes.
Mr. Radcliffe.
Yes.
Mrs. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Danner.
Yes.
Mr. Beal.
Yes. Okay, negotiations, we don't have any negotiations like at this time. Buildings and grounds, number one, it's recommended that the Board of Education accept the lowest bid and award of the bid contract to Walfield Inc. of Murray, New Jersey for the following projects. Additions and renovations for Block 1 project number 15-4518. Base bids and all alternates were received and opened on Tuesday, May 17, 2016, at 10 a.m. from the following contractors: Zytone and Supply Company at 455, Walkill Group at 379-550, and Mark Construction at 681, Plat 4. Any discussion? Excuse me.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on that?
Just have two quick questions. Said I wasn't able to attend the building and grounds meeting. Were the budget correct with Walkill's, right? Or we're at their budget where we need to be?
The board had previously, a couple months ago, to not exceed $400,000 for the project.
Okay. And then secondly, any feedback or feeling about the bid and the award, paperwork's in line, any protests or anything like that from a low bid standpoint?
Not yet.
Okay. Only because it would impact us to get done, so, okay. Good times,
Yes.
Okay, roll call.
Mr. Voight-Cube.
Yes.
Mr. Miller.
Yes.
Mr. Nelson.
Yes.
Mr. Radcliffe.
Yes.
Mrs. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Danner.
Yes.
Mr. Dunn.
Yes.
Mr. Healy.
Finance, I'd like to combine items 1 5, recommended the board accept the EDC account, adult education athletic account, cafeteria account for petty cash, school store and student accounts for April 2016.
So moved.
Any discussion on 1 through 5? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Radcliffe?
Yes.
Mrs. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Dan?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Wojcik?
Yes.
Mr. Beal?
Yes. Number 6, is recommended that the board approve the following tuition contracts between High Point Regional High School, sending the following districts and related information as listed, seeking a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on 6? Roll call.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Radcliffe?
Yes.
Mrs. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Dan?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Wojcik?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Beal?
Yes. I'd like to combine items 7 through 10. Number 7, recommended the board approve the agreement between High Point Regional High School Board of Education and Mary Ellen Tivoli to provide for the April 16-17 school year at the rate of $85 an hour, $100 per hour for services provided to the students only. Number 8, recommended the board approve an agreement between High Point Regional High School Board of Education and the Educational Service Commission of Morris County to provide professional support services as needed for the 16-17 school year. Number 9, recommended the board approve an agreement addendum between High Point Regional High School Board of Education and the Educational Service Commission of Morris County to serve as the district designee and implement anyone in non-public school security aid program at the 16-17 school year. And number 10, recommended the board approve the tax payment schedule for the 16-17 school year. Tax receipts.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Mr. Radcliffe?
Yes.
Mrs. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Dan?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Wojcik?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Beal?
Yes. All right, I'd like to combine items 11 and 14. Number 11 being recommended that the board grant permission to High Point Community Education Association Science Camp, which will run from July 25th, 2016 to July 29th, 2016 during the hours of 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. The camp will be self-supporting and will charge $165 per student. Number 12, recommended that the board grant permission to the High Point Wrestling Camp under supervision of John Carter to host a non-affiliated co-ed wrestling camp, which will run from July 18, 2016 to July 22nd, 2016 during the hours of 8:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. The camp will be self-supporting and will charge $50 per student. Number 13, recommended that the board grant permission to the High Point Wrestling Camp under John Carter's supervision to host the non-affiliated co-ed wrestling camp, which will run from July 25th, 2016 to July 29th, 2016 during the hours of 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. The camp will be self-supporting and will charge $50 per student. And number 14, recommended that the board grant permission to the High Point Speed Performance Camp under the supervision of William Constantino to host a non-affiliated co-ed speed performance camp, which will run Tuesdays and Thursdays from June 2nd, 2016 to June 30th, 2016 during the hours of 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. And that camp will be self-supporting and will charge $100 per student. Seeking a motion.
So moved.
Any discussion on these items?
Second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Who's running the science camp? Who's in charge of that?
I believe it's Aaron Baker.
Okay.
Yes.
I wouldn't put money on it, but I just wondered. Not that I got it.
Just another Christmas speed performance camp, is that just for high school students or students or kids throughout the county?
It is for anyone who's interested.
Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Dan?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Wojcik?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Radcliffe?
Yes.
Mr. Beal?
Yes. All right, number 15 is recommended by the superintendent of the Board of Education to approve the following resolution considering the cost of raising and agreement with the Hunterdon County Educational Services Commission, whereas NJSA 4811-15.5 authorizes the contract union to establish a cooperative pricing system and enter cooperative pricing agreements for its administration, and whereas the Hunterdon County Educational Services Commission current operating as a lead agency has offered voluntary participation in a cooperative pricing system for purchase of goods and services, whereas on May 24, 2016, the governing body of High Point High School, County, Suffolk, State of New Jersey, duly considered participation in cooperative pricing systems for the provision and performance of goods and services. Now, therefore, be it resolved that other meeting may be cited as part of the present resolution of High Point Regional High School pursuant to the provisions of NJSA 48-11-11-5, creating and responsible for public contract law under NJSA 48-11-1 and all other provisions of the revised statutes of the state of New Jersey.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Danner?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Woodview?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Anklis?
Yes.
Mrs. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Mealy?
Yes. Okay, we'll move on to transportation. Mr. Miller, if you would move to the phone. Be sure.
He's on a tear, isn't he?
Okay, so for transportation, I will move items 1 through 8. Item number 1 is recommended by the superintendent that the board approve the following employee contracts for trips for the 2015-16 school year. They are employee contracts Q35, Q38, Q39, Q40, Q42, Q43, and Q44 as listed. Item number 2, it is recommended by the superintendent to approve the following addendum to a contract for a special education route for the 2015 school year, and that's provided by Berkshire Transportation, bid number 2013-2014-02 as listed. Item number 3, it is recommended by the superintendent that the board approves a joint transportation agreement between High Point Regional High School and Waltham Valley Regional High School for the anticipated transportation services during the 2016-17 school year with a 5% administrative fee. Item number 4, it is recommended by the superintendent that the board approve a joint transportation agreement between High Point Regional High School and Lafayette Township Elementary School for anticipated transportation services during the 2016-17 school year with a 5% administrative fee. Item number 5, it is recommended by the superintendent that the board approves a joint transportation agreement between High Point Regional High School and Sussex Waters Regional High School for anticipated transportation services during the 16-17 school year with a 5% administrative fee. Item number 6, it is recommended by the superintendent that the board approves a joint transportation agreement between High Point Regional High School and Frankfurt Township Elementary School for anticipated transportation services for the 2016-17 school year with a 5% administrative fee. Item number 7, it is recommended by the superintendent that the board approves the following joint transportation agreement for the 15-16 school year, and that is where High Point is the host and Waltham Valley is the joiner. And lastly, item number 8, it is recommended by the superintendent that the board approves the following joint transportation agreement for the 15-16 ESY, where the host is Waterford Township BOE and the joiner is High Point.
Second?
Any discussion?
My standard disclaimer, if I may, that I am not related to, nor do I hold any interest in Ted Dunn Incorporated.
Dr. Ripley, just out of curiosity, is this the first time we've been serving all the, almost every sending district?
No, I think that those are past agreements from the previous years.
Okay. It just seems like we've done them all this upcoming year, where other years it's sporadic, so hopefully we have enough drivers to support the need. So,
Which is always a challenge.
yeah, that's always a challenge. Okay, thank you.
All right, roll call.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Woodview?
Yes.
Mr. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Nelson?
Yes.
Mr. Anklis?
Yes.
Mrs. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Danner?
Yes.
Mr. Mealy?
Yes. All right, we'll move on to legal. We don't have any more for us right now. Correspondence, don't have any. Miscellaneous, does anybody have anything?
I'm just going to reiterate again what has been mentioned a couple different times, that we are in the process of putting together the 50th anniversary celebration of High Point Regional High School, and that date is October 1st. There's been tons of cooperation between the athletic department, and there's a committee, there's an ongoing committee of administration and teaching and support staff working on this. Should be really awesome. The HPEA is one of our official supporters because they're giving us some cash. So that's good too. So keep your ears open for developments. It's going to be a fun day, very fun day.
I would just like to tell the board and the community that one of our teachers, a Marine, Mr. Langen, has been invited to march in the Washington DC Memorial Day Parade this weekend.
We'll move on to public comment. If you have a public comment, please step forward, state your name and address at the podium. And we'll be giving each speaker 3 minutes to address the board, which will be timed by me. And we will limit this section to no longer than 45 minutes. And our usual, please be respectful to each other and mindful that you are being recorded.
My name is Paul Sanders. I'm a resident of Wantage, or in Town. I'd like to bring your attention to High Point baseball program. Many of us parents, we really don't want to be here at the program at home. I'm not here to complain about my son's playing time. I'm here to stand up for all boys, many of which I coached over the years. They've not been given the same opportunity that have been handed to children. Over the last couple of months, it's very stressful in my household. What's been going on. The current question that keeps coming up to me is, what is the purpose of high school sports? If it's to win at the expense of all the other student athletes, then Mr. Ellis should be congratulated on a job well done. But that's not the purpose of high school sports. The purpose of high school sports is to develop student athletes so they can get to the next level, whatever that level may be. I think many parents would agree that High Point's baseball program is chaotic and favors a chosen few, which seem to follow no particular rationale. There were no tryouts, so parents are squawking over why didn't my kid get a fair shot at playing varsity or whatever. How come this one is more and so forth. Ellis has freshmen that are playing more innings than juniors who are more experienced. Why would you bench juniors that pitch over 80 miles an hour? Does that make any sense? Now, these underclassmen are good players. I'm not taking away from them, but rarely do freshman players jump to varsity then for more than a few games. And many of our boys, I don't think any of them, when they started at freshman ball, jumped to varsity and play freshman ball. Then they go to JV and then they get ball up. But that's what I mean about chaos, because there were no tryouts, there's no explanation, or it's all a matter of who you know as determined the placement. Politics and baseball, say it ain't so. The program needs better oversight. We've approached staff and it's basically fallen on deaf ears. Conversations with Ellis, the same thing, we get no service. There is also a question of cronyism. Who could they could explain, tell us the decisions for putting certain kids in positions that they, one or another. You could ask Ellis if he has any associations with these kids outside of High Point baseball. Do these associations, it's not that the associations necessarily are bad, but do they affect his decision-making where he places his boys? My son beats himself up asking, what could I have done to the coach for him to treat me like this? That's what we do. We seek out answers when something goes wrong. And even though my son is a starting catcher for a college level wood bat league, he is being deprived of being the varsity catcher for High Point, with the exception of 2 games when the catcher that Ellis has chosen has been out. I've told my son repeatedly to quit. Don't take it. It's an insult that he's not giving you any playing time on varsity. And my son has answered no. And I say, why? He says, because it's baseball, Dad. He just loves the game. I hope you give this coaching matter serious consideration. There are many boys considering not returning next season if Ellis is still coaching. Now, last couple of bullets, real quick here. We had a game about 2 weeks ago with the team that went 15 innings. Catching is the most physically demanding position on the field. Ellis had the same catcher, very adept at what he's doing, for 15 straight innings. Why would you do that? Why not? You should have been subbed at least once or twice. 15 innings is a lot, too much. Yesterday there was no JV game. My son got to sit on the varsity bench all 7 innings, no substitution, not 1 inning. He's a junior. Really? It just doesn't make sense again. When my son, this is important, when my son got one-on-one with Ellis at one point, a few weeks ago, he asked me, why am I not getting this playing time? And Ellis told him, it's he even told me personally that I go through a stage where I won't even see him. This is a question of judgment. That's all I have. Okay.
Good evening. Captain Stein, 47 Charter Mottos. I have a problem with the baseball team myself. The motto should be encouraged, not discouraged. Coach Ellis has discouraged my son this year so bad as a junior that he left. Couldn't take it. It was promised several times at the beginning of the season when he did not want to play because he had a fallout with Coach Ellis last year. And Coach Ellis had told him, Braden, you're going to be my number one guy. You're my go-to guy. I promise you that things will be better this year. Stick it out. You'll see. Watch the baseball game. Braden, start today. Text me. During school. Be ready. Go to the game. Start warming up. Send another picture in. Discouraged. Messing with his psyche. Braden, grab your mitt. Go warm up. Go into the game and close it out. 7th inning. Braden, you ready? Yes, sir. Calls another name from another child, puts him out there again. Discouraged. It's very bad. Very bad. My son's upset. He has stomach problems over this. He feels that he can be a good college baseball player. I feel he can. Everybody who's with me tonight feels he can. The whole community feels he can. He quit. Don't care about the record. I hear from Mr. Van Orden. I hear from Mr. Ellis. I hear from everybody about their record. Their record is because of their ability to play baseball. It has nothing to do with the coaches. The table is set for Coach Ellis to come in here with a group of children that have been playing baseball since they were 5 years old. Half of them I've coached for 10 years. Perfect setup. I don't care who the coach is in there. Coach Ellis is not doing the job that he should be. He is discouraging. He is not. He's discouraging, not encouraging. Excuse me. We lost my son playing. I'm very upset about it. Other kids sitting on the bench. As Mr. DeSantis said, the coach's answer is, I'm superstitious. We're winning without you up here. You shouldn't say that to a child. You're messing with his psyche. And again, record means nothing. JV coach, watching his son at a track meet when he's supposed to be up on the field doing his job. Why a baseball game is going on? My tax dollars pay for that man to stand there and watch a track meet and not be at the game. That's wrong. Mr. Van Orden's answer, well, I never seen him there. Well, guess what? You were standing right next to him. You were holding a conversation with him. We've all seen it. We pay his salary. Don't discourage children. Don't mess with their son. It's not fair. And children are being hurt. And like I said, these kids are winning because of their ability to play baseball. They are not winning because the coach is doing anything. The only level I've ever seen at High Point High School in the past 4 years that I've been involved that has actually done anything and actually has helped the kids out is the freshman program. There's a gentleman here in this town who's put his application in for a few years now. As far as I'm concerned, the best baseball coach I've ever seen. Played his high school baseball at High Point, graduated High Point, coached at the college level, coached at the major league level, seems to be overlooked. I just think the whole program is a joke. I really think it needs to be looked at, and hopefully you guys will look into it. I'm not here to bash Coach Ellis, to bash Mr. Van Orden. I'm here because I'm upset for my son, and I'm upset for the other children that are on the team. And I don't think this coach deserves the credit for a 15-3 record. I think he deserves it. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Christina.
Hello, everybody. I'm John Now, 36 Clayton. My son is one of the recipients of the transition of children being moved in different locations. He is the varsity catcher at this point as a sophomore. Mr. Steinman related to us coaches that have been coaching these kids since 5 have put in a lot of effort and time. Everybody who knows myself knows that I put in hundreds of hours a year into the Little League fields, as does Mr. Ringley has seen there many times. One thing I have seen watching baseball over the years is, as a coach, you can never tell where a kid's going to be when he's 9, when he's 16 or 18. So you constantly have to coach every kid that next year he may be in a different spot. I've seen Mr. Ellis put in a lot of hours, effort, and things that have tried to make the team better and improve, and the trip to Florida. However he went about those, unfortunately, we don't know the reason why. But I do see, at any development, you have to start at level 1, 2, 3, and work yourself up progressively. And as Mr. Steinman has related to, and others, the program is weak, not in knowledge, but either in